What's happening, everybody? Welcome back. This is Forgo. And a lot of you have already been seeing these tier 3 videos of Vision, and you've seen how amazing he is. But how good is he at tier 2? How strong is he at tier 2? Now, I do have 8% Pierce, and I do have over 100% energy attack. So that is buffing him up quite a bit. But honestly, even with those card stats, that what he can do actually will blow your freaking minds. Now, my Vision has 32,000 energy attack. He has 123 attack speed, 67 crit rate, which is actually going to get maxed out from one of his skills. He has max critical damage, max ignore defense, max skill cooldown. And he does have 5-star Urus in all of his slots, except for those empty slots you're seeing there. No Odin's Blessing, so pretty free-to-play friendly build. And what they did for this character is they changed his damage accumulation based on how much damage he takes to damage accumulation based on damage he deals. On top of that, they made his all defense down applicable to world boss. So for those of you that are facing regular world boss, except for the last 2 phases of Thanos, he's going to be way stronger just because of that. And I got to tell you, even whenever you fight a boss where the all defense down doesn't apply, Vision's power is actually quite insane. Then the 4th skill actually gives a paralysis that applies to world boss. This is really important because the way the rotation works is it's 3, slam his hands down, cancel into the 4, then go into the 5. When you do the 4, he kind of spins around, then he'll do that paralysis, and then you'll do the 5. Scarlet's going to come in and give you a helping hand, and you're going to deal a bunch of damage during that 5. You're going to have the proc on the 5 while that paralysis has the boss locked down, which is actually amazing. Now, there is moments in the fights where, say you're facing a character, sorry, but not right now, where you're facing characters like Proxima, where she can still jump around and get away from you. It's still going to be very, very annoying in all honesty, but Vision's power really is insane, even at tier 2. And then you see the passive here. You know, he's got the reflect 50% of energy damage received, which is nice. And then his leadership. Now, this leadership is pretty interesting. So this gives a 70% increase of all attack to Scarlet all at once. And the thing about this is Scarlet, you know, she does have 45% energy attack as his self-buffing leadership. And if you put her in the leadership and you put 2 other supports like 45% damage dealt to supervillain supports, that's actually 90% damage to supervillains on top of the 45% damage that she has from her leadership. Actually, you would get more benefit from having her in the leadership and having 2 other supports than having Vision in the leadership. But to be fair, these days in Marvel Future Fight, a lot of people aren't using 2 supports. They're just really using 1 support. So when you look at it from that respect, this is actually pretty amazing because you can put him in the leadership. You can still have her on the side. And because he does so much damage, you can actually switch between these characters when you're facing against Null or Mephisto. Especially since they're universals now, you can actually increase their type enhancement to have them do more damage to blast speed and combat, which jumps up their relevance quite a bit. So it's actually quite good when you think about it. So let's take a look at his rotation. So his rotation is literally 3, 4, 5. And it is that easy, my friends. It is that easy. Now, you can cancel the 3 immediately. And here's the thing, something I did some testing against Thanos during the last couple phases where the all defense down doesn't apply. And I tried hitting the 3, canceling the 4, and then the 5. Because sometimes the 3 will trigger the proc. But here's the thing, there is residual damage from that 3. So you still want to hit the 3 down on the ground and go into the 5. Even when the all defense down isn't applying, you're still going to do a lot more damage whenever you let that 3 play out a little bit. It does make a difference. So whether the all defense down is being applied or it isn't, you still want to slam his hands down during that 3. I do have a stage 5 overdrive set. I have a critical damage with 180% damage proc obelisk. So very free to play friendly build. And his uniform is only at advanced. And as far as his uniform options, Blade is the first one. And then the second one is Hyperion, which does kind of suck. I mean, a lot of people aren't going to have that uniform and they're not really going to want to level it up because it is a paywall. But yeah, that does suck that uniform option is there. But aside from that, Vision is absolutely insane. So I'm going to give you a preview of how much damage he can do against Proxima, and then I'm going to show you what he can do against the Mad Titan. So let's jump into the action and let's rock and roll. So we're just going to take Proxima down to the 11th bar, and I decided to go ahead and go with Ghost because one, I never use her for anything, and since Vision is a machine type, her leadership will actually apply to him, giving that 50% increase of all attack, plus her 20% increase to energy attack from her tier 2 passive. So he's getting a total of 70% increase to his energy attack, which is pretty massive, and it's not even the optimal leadership. I could use Nick Fury, but I opted to just go for Ghost because I never really play her or use her, and I thought this was a good time to take advantage of her leadership. Now, sometimes this proc does get off, and sometimes Proxima does jump away from him and get away, right? It definitely can be tricky, but once that paralysis applies, then it's just lights out for these characters. Now, because my Vision is tier 2, his HP pool is quite low, and he can die very, very easy. But you can see here, stage 99, we are doing insane damage considering my build. Just nutso, right? So we're going to go ahead and pause it. And, you know, in less than a minute, really about 50 seconds, he was able to do the first phase of stage 99, which is actually quite insane. Even with 8% pierce on my cards and having over 100% energy attack with my build, that is absolutely insane. And it's beautiful that he's so proc friendly. So now let's put him to the test against the Mad Titan. Let's do this. Now, it's been a good while since I faced old Thanos, and I could definitely tell when I was first originally playing him today because I did have some problems at first, but that was just because I was a little rusty. But 3, 4, 5, and boom shakalaka. Now that proc came way, way late. Vision can actually do a lot more damage than that. Another thing about Vision is I try to use the second skill quite a bit because it is an iframe. It does protect him and give him quite a bit of extra survivability. So sometimes I use the second skill to try to get him out of danger. There, the proc actually triggered early, and sometimes that happens. Sometimes it does trigger early. It happens with any character, but for the most part, you can keep the proc pretty much where it belongs. And this really is a nightmare. I mean, this is stage 60 against Thanos. The same team. Stage 60, my friends. I never thought I'd see the day where tier 2 Vision, or really even a tier 3 Vision, would be taking on stage 60 Thanos, which is absolutely insane. So right now the all defense down is actually being applied, and so that's something you have to keep in mind. You know, we're getting that extra all defense down, and his all defense down does stack up to 55%. I mean, when you have him at tier 3, he actually has an all defense down that goes up to 65%, which is nuts. So he's going to hit a whole lot harder on top of having the extra stats when he's tier 3. And I do want a tier 3 Vision. The problem is right now, we have Wanda and we have Vision, and they're both originally Blast characters. So I need Blast books, and Wanda is my priority. That's the character that I want to tier 3 first, and then I'm going to try to tier 3 Vision. But it's going to be a good while, unfortunately, because, yeah, books are hard to come by, my friends. They're just hard to come by. But Vision's also got amazing movement speed. He does have a nice little heal on his 5th skill, that 10% recovery of max HP. And that is nice. I wish it was a little bit better, but something to remember is when he's at tier 3, he's going to have a higher HP pool. And 10% of more HP is just going to give you more of a heal, right? So actually the heal's a whole lot better when you get him to tier 3. But it's still pretty decent at tier 2. You can see I'm not using any healing strikers. All I'm using is damage dealt to supervillains, and then Ancient One there does offer a debuff. Because Vision, he does have immunity on his 3rd skill, but he's also got invincibility on the 4th skill, and that can be debuffed. So having an Ancient One does kind of help, but I really don't think you need him, to be perfectly honest. Run around, run around. Switch. And sometimes what I've noticed is, like, whenever you hit the 3rd skill while Thanos is still in an iframe, and then you go into the 4-5, you can really do some insane damage, especially when you have the all defense down applying, because when you do the 3rd skill, right, say Thanos is in an iframe, he's getting ready to slam down, you hit the 3rd skill, and that all defense down just starts building up. It just starts stacking quickly. So your damage is just really through the roof. Now, right now, all defense down isn't applying, which is actually a testament to Vision and his power. I mean, seriously, guys, stage 60 with this build, this is crazy. This is absolutely nuts. Oh. Woo, woo, woo. Run around, run around. Come on, come on. Let's go. And there you saw the proc did trigger on the third skill. I mean, and again, that does happen, you know. I mean, really with a lot of characters, you know, that even when they're proc friendly, you know, sometimes procs get off. There, the proc actually hit on the fourth skill. It can be pretty tough. I mean, there's a lot going on when you're facing Thanos. In my opinion, I think Thanos is still the hardest world boss of them all. Yeah, you don't need to do as much damage to him that you do to Null and Mephisto, but Null and Mephisto have set patterns of what they're doing. Thanos is very sporadic in his effects and the things he's doing, so you just don't know what he's going to do. And a lot with certain characters, you just have to cancel their skills. You have to switch them to really play effectively against Thanos. And he's just a harder boss, in my opinion. Way harder than Null and Mephisto. Let me know in the comments if you all agree with that. I still think this guy's the biggest bastard of them all, which is pretty funny, honestly. So, like, if you're really wanting to test your might against a world boss, I really think that Thanos is the guy. Unless you have an absolutely insane amount of Pierce, then you're just going to do so much damage it's not even funny. Run around, okay. Let's get him. Now, something to keep in mind is when Thanos gets ready to do that ray, you want to make sure that you do the third skill quickly, because it does take a little bit of time for Vision to slam his hands down. He can't take damage before he slams his hands down. But guys, that is stage 60, my friends. Stage 60 with almost 30 seconds to spare. That is absolutely bonkers. Freaking crazy strong. And if this doesn't make you want a tier 3 Vision, I don't know what will. So let me know how y'all feeling about Vision taking down stage 60 Thanos. And I do stream on Twitch at Reset Sunday through Thursday. The link will be in the description below. And I hope you enjoyed the video. Thank you for watching. Y'all take care and have a good one.